Welcome to Sound Bites. I'm your host, Jennifer Chandler, and I'm here at the Park Avenue location of Elwood Shack with Tim Bednarski, who is the founder of this restaurant. This week is 4th of July, and I thought it was the perfect time to talk about America's favorite treat, hot dogs. Sound Bites is the Daily Memphian's weekly food, drink, and dining podcast. You can tune in on WYXR Radio every Thursday at 11 a.m., or listen wherever you get your podcasts, iTunes or Spotify, or listen at dailymemphian.com. If you're listening on WYXR, up next you can listen to Sidebar with Eric Barnes. But let's get started talking about hot dogs to a chef who serves some of the best gourmet dogs in town. Tim, thanks for being here.
Thanks for inviting me. Glad to be here. One of my favorite things to talk about.
So, hot dogs. It's not a thing you find on many menus. And if you find it on a menu in Memphis, you're probably going to find one hot dog. But you have several hot dogs. How many are on the menu?
9 currently.
9 currently. And they have a very prominent place, doggy style, it is called, on your menu at both of your restaurants. So why are hot dogs on your menu?
For the sole purpose of feeding me, to be honest. There's not many days that go by that I don't eat a hot dog. I've always been a connoisseur of them and glad to bring them to Memphis and serve them on a daily basis.
So we have 9 to choose from. Like, how did you come up with these recipes? Because some are kind of crazy. I mean, they even have cream cheese on a recipe on one of your hot dogs.
Well, traditionally in Seattle, that's where we have our Seattle dog. We put cream cheese, coleslaw, barbecue sauce. It's just a great combination. And I've tried some other ones and some don't sell, and we'll modify them and we'll bring new ones on. And I'm actually working on a couple ideas. When you told me we were going to do this, it's like, well, I got to come up with some new ones.
So is there a hot dog on this menu? I have to tell everyone, if they've not seen the hot dog menu here at Elwood Shack, you need to come and check it out because these are really creative recipes you've got going on. This is not your normal plain Jane Oscar Mayer hot dog that you would buy at the grocery store. They're really, really great. Is there one that's the most popular that people order more than anything else?
The Seattle dog's a big seller, and the Tijuana dog's a big seller. For me, the chili, just a good old-fashioned chili cheese dog is my go-to, or the Seattle dog. One of those, between those two, those are my favorite.
The Seattle dog. We talked about that a second ago with the cream cheese. What else is on it?
Grilled onions, grilled jalapenos, regular coleslaw, and barbecue sauce.
Wow. That's a lot going on in a hot dog. And I have to tell you, I have had that one. And the cream cheese does work. I have to admit, I was very skeptical when you told me to try it. It was for a story we did a while back. And it's like, I don't know about this. And I loved it. My husband loved it. That's his go-to order now. And what was the other one you just mentioned?
Just a good old-fashioned chili cheese dog.
So I'm assuming you make all of your chili here in-house?
Oh, we do. It's an all-beef chili with bell peppers and onion, but mostly all beef. The biggest ingredient.
So good. So when you were coming up with these recipes, you just kind of sit there and say, this sounds good, and you start piling them on and see if it works?
Pretty much. I do a little research too. If you go Google Seattle dog or Tijuana dog, or traditional ingredients that usually go into it, and then mine are all pretty close, or maybe a little variations if we don't have anything. Like we have a Chicago dog on our menu, but we don't use fresh cucumber in the restaurant. So I don't put fresh cucumber on it, but traditionally Chicago dog does.
So, and there's some other fun ones. The salty dog with mustard, pickle, and applewood bacon.
Oh, it is. It's a real simple one. I do like that one as well, too. The Go Tiger Go Dog with blue cheese, spicy mustard, and caramelized onions, another big seller.
Oh.
A big seller, since we're across the street from the University of Memphis here, too.
Yeah, I would think so. I think before every game, somebody needs to come and get one of those to show their support for our Tigers.
For sure.
So without a doubt. Hot dogs. Summertime, people eat hot dogs a lot. They're, grilling out in the backyard. Lots of people have opinions on hot dogs. Is there a kind of dog that you recommend? Beef, pork, turkey, vegetarian?
Definitely not the last two, for me anyway. But we serve an all-beef hot dog. We actually used to serve Hebrew National all-beef franks, but since the pandemic, they're not available in distribution really. And we use a Patuit Farms all-beef hot dog, which is excellent. And they're one of the biggest hot dog producers actually in the United States. They actually produce all the hot dogs for Sam's and Costco too, and it's an excellent product.
Yeah, that Costco hot dog is a very hot item. I was reading an article recently about how that I guess it doesn't make it's so inexpensive, but they keep it on the menu because people are so excited about it and they kind of want to, more so than anything, it's a perk for their customers. So that's interesting to know that you use the same hot dog. So why beef versus pork?
It just tastes better, in my opinion. It's my favorite for sure. And I'm picky. When I go to the grocery store to buy them, if I'm a farm in Texas and I don't have any, I'm picking through the packages, reading the ingredients and seeing what's in it.
Yeah, and so these hot dogs are pretty big too. Is there like
They're quarter pounders.
Okay.
They're called 4-to-1s, four in 1 pound. Same ones that you would get if you went to an NFL game or a Major League Baseball game. They're big monsters.
Yeah, these are serious hot dogs. There is a lot of, when I've talked about hot dogs before with people, there seems to be this big debate on how to cook your hot dog, whether boiled or steamed or griddled, or I guess grilled could be an option. That's how I kind of actually like them on the grill. I know that's probably sacrilege for true hot dog connoisseurs.
Not at all.
But how do you prefer to cook it?
All the above, what you just stated. We actually do ours here. We actually keep them hot, and then we grill them on a flat top grill in the bun.
Oh, good. So they're nice and moist in the inside, but then they have that crispiness on the outside.
And the bun's nice and toasted.
Yep.
Well, when you said grilled, there's nothing better than a grilled hot dog in the backyard for me, too. That's how I cook them at my farm when I'm there.
That was going to be my next question. Is I'm trying to get all your tips on why your hot dogs are so good, so that if we wanted to try to do this at home over the 4th of July holiday, how could we do it? So is there a type of bun you think is better than another?
I don't use a hot dog bun. We've got this big quarter-pound beef hot dog. I actually use a 6-inch hoagie roll as the bun for mine. There's just so much protein, it really needs it to go to complement the bun. If I was to put that in a little traditional small hot dog bun at the grocery store, it'd fall apart and it wouldn't eat well.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about all the stuff that you put on your toppings that you use, then I could definitely see how that bigger bun is so much better. And I have never thought to do that. I've learned something new.
The grocery stores typically have a bigger bun, and I know Kroger's and Super Low both have them. That's where I get them when I'm at home and not in the restaurant.
This is another thing, because I know some people have a very strong opinion. Ketchup on a hot dog. Is that okay to do, or never do that?
I'm easy to please. Yes, I do. I'll eat a hot dog with ketchup by myself if I want to grab a quick snack. And I usually do ketchup and mustard, and that's it, the only thing on it. If I'm just trying to grab a quick snack at home.
I love that you called it a snack.
I know, a quarter-pound hot dog is a snack. It's one of those good things. But I know it's one of those things that in my family, my husband actually takes the same thing. He has the ketchup and mustard, and he kind of zigzags both on there. It's actually kind of pretty looking when he does it. I actually personally love to put mustard and relish. Are kind of like my go-to, and especially like a spicy relish. And I have to tell everyone that's listening, I wish you could see what's in front of me right now. Tim brought me a jar of his spicy pickles that he made from his farm in Texas. And I bet those chopped up really finely on top of a hot dog would be pretty darn good.
I've done it several times. I only got 4 jars out of this batch for 4 quarts, and the first quart has been used on quite a few hot dogs in the last 10 days.
So, that's exciting. I'm so excited that I get to have some of these. One of the things that I wanted to talk about is like hot dogs. So like Joey Chestnut, that's why I was thinking about for this week. That way we're going to talk about hot dogs, because the whole Nathan's hot dog eating contest that happens on 4th of July every year. And I looked this up. He is a 16-time winner. I think he's competed maybe 17, 18, 19 times, but 16 times. He's won the past 16 years. Last year, he won by consuming 62 hot dogs and buns in 10 minutes. Oh my gosh. His record was in 2021, where he ate 76 of them.
Can you imagine?
I cannot imagine. So, but my question is, Have you ever had any type of hot dog eating contest here, or have you ever seen a customer come in and eat more than one?
I've never seen anybody eat more than one, but we did talk about doing a hot dog eating contest several years ago. We ended up, had it planned to do it, but we had to scratch it. I had a family, a family member passed away, and we just never rescheduled it. And so it was definitely on the list of stuff I wouldn't mind doing someday.
If you had any other cooking tips for anyone that was wanting to create a signature, or either cook or create a signature hot dog at home for themselves, anything you would offer?
Just make sure you pick a good high-quality hot dog. Hebrew Nationals or Nathan's are my two go-tos in the grocery store. I think they're top of the line, as good as they get. There's some out there. Ballpark's okay as well, too, but there's some out there that I wouldn't eat for sure.
Yeah.
Spend an extra couple bucks.
You're listening to the Daily Memphian Sound Bites with me, Jennifer Chandler, today, and we're talking with Tim Bednarski at Elwood Shack. If you're tuning in on WYXR, keep listening for the sidebar with Eric Barnes after this. If you're listening through your podcast app, be sure to subscribe. You can also find our other Daily Memphian podcast, The Sidebar with Eric Barnes about art, culture, and more, Grizzlies Pod with Drew Hill and Chris Harrington, Beyond the Headlines Podcast Edition, and On the Record, an occasional political podcast with Daily Memphian legend Bill Dries. So, let's talk about Elwood Shack, because this place is a true original. What year did you open the first restaurant?
You caught me off guard. We're coming up on our 11-year anniversary, so I have to go backwards. So I had in 2012, 2013. That sounds right.
So it's been here for over a decade, and I have to admit, from like day one, you've been a huge success and really beloved. And I remember when you opened, I've had a few friends, because I live kind of near your original location, the first location that's still open, by the way. And I had friends come up to me and go, "Have you eaten at the shack that's in the Lowe's parking lot down the street from you?" And I'm like, "What?" And then they would be like, "They have the best fish taco." And I'm like, "What?" And I was like, a shack in the Lowe's park. I couldn't even put my head around it. And then I made a trip there and I had the fish taco and I've never looked back. You're kind of like a go-to about once every 2 weeks when I'm like working at my home office. I'll be like, what do I want to eat? And I'll like call in and go grab an order, and you're my go-to lunch. And it is so, so good. But why did you want to put a restaurant in a literal shack in a Lowe's parking lot?
I didn't want to. It chose me. I was in the corporate world for a very long time, and I could not find a job that was correct for me. I've lived in Memphis for 30 years, and I could have relocated out of Memphis and gotten a job pretty much anywhere, and I didn't want to. And I just happened, same as you, I lived not far away from that Lowe's and ran at the hardware store and saw the location with the for rent sign on it, and I just looked at it and then looked at the Lowe's 25 feet away going, there's no way I couldn't be successful here. Just for visibility and accessibility and unlimited parking in the Lowe's parking lot. It was a blessing in disguise.
Well, and it's great. So how many seats does that restaurant have? About
under 40. It's actually probably got 25 in it right now.
Yeah, it's
more
small.
Outside.
Yeah, it has those great picnic tables outside where on a nice day you can enjoy whatever you're ordering, whether it's that,
Steelhead trout.
Steelhead trout. I'm getting that wrong. Taco or, a pizza or a hot dog, whatever you're ordering. So you have a second restaurant that we're at right now. That's on Park. Pretty much almost Park and Getwell, across the street from the University of Memphis. This opened last year, correct? I forget which month.
September. We're coming up on our first year. So, I mean, it's not far away. And
this one is bigger. About how many seats do you have here?
This one actually has to be under 75, I think, is the total capacity, but we've only got it set up for about 50 right now. So I can add more if I needed to, but we've got plenty of seating.
Yeah, you have a lot of seating. And so is there the menu the same at both restaurants? Is there something that's different between one or the other? It's
identical at both restaurants, but this location has a fryer and there's a few more items are offered here. Like we don't have French fries at Summer Avenue, but we have French fries available here and a fried chicken biscuit and chicken tenders here. And it's been a big plus. Over the years we were open at Summer, everybody wanted fries. And we just couldn't execute it. The kitchen's so small, there's no place to put a fryer, but here we can. Oh yeah, and then we do have a great coffee bar here as well, too. We've got a true, authentic Italian cappuccino machine and a fabulous coffee grinder. We use J. Brooks coffee here as well. We do some really special things with our coffee.
One of the things that I think that you do, in addition to the hot dogs, that's one of my favorite things to order here, and other than that taco we just talked about, is your brisket. So you're from Texas originally.
It better be good.
How did you end up in Memphis?
I got transferred here 30 years ago. There used to be a restaurant downtown called Captain Bilbo's, and we turned it into Landry Seafood, and that's me. I got transferred here. I traveled for them for several years, and I got tired of traveling, and I said, stick me anywhere, and they stuck me in Memphis, and I'm sure glad they did.
Yeah, we're glad that they did too, or we wouldn't have this great restaurant. So how did you become an expert at barbecue? Because if I remember correctly, when you were working for kind of restaurant corporations, you were more in management and opening locations, correct?
It was, and the true reason is because of the barbecue contest here. I ran Landry's, and the barbecue restaurant was in front of the restaurant, and I was like, what is this all about? I've never seen anything like it in my entire life. And I got jealous, and I had, over the years, I've been in the restaurant business for 41 years now, since I was 15. Started at Wendy's, but I had done every concept: fast food, fine dining, casual dining, GM at Paulette's for a year. And the only thing I have never done was barbecue. So I started a barbecue team and competed in competition barbecue for about 10 years before I opened Elwood.
That's crazy to think that you didn't grow up cooking barbecue, because if you taste your barbecue, if you taste the brisket, if you taste the pork, if you taste anything that you're making here, you would think that you've been doing it since you were like 3, because it's that good.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I can get away with it because we're in Memphis. But the barbecue in Texas is not as good as the barbecue in Tennessee. They cook differently. And it's not that there's not great stuff out there. There is, but majority of it is not. Everybody cooks hot and fast in Texas, and we cook long and slow here in Tennessee. And that's what makes our brisket special, too.
Yeah, that was going to be my question, is what makes your brisket so much better than everyone else's? And I guess maybe the long and slow, because it really is like fork tender. It is, and that's what I want it to be. And we cook it for at least 18 to 20 hours every day. We put it on at 9 o'clock every night, and it's ready for lunch the next day. It's so, so good. That sandwich is just one of my favorite things to eat. That's mine, too. If I'm not eating a hot dog, I'm eating a small brisket sandwich with pickle and onions for sure. So when it comes to 4th of July, like what's on, or a summer barbecue or a summer gathering that you're doing, what's on your menu? Are you making hot dogs? Are you making brisket? Are you not cooking because you own a restaurant? I'm not cooking because I own a restaurant, and those are big barbecue days. And it's one of our busiest days, but Memorial Day, 4th of July, and are 2 of our busiest days of the year, and Father's Day as well. So you're actually open on those holidays? Oh, yeah. Oh, I didn't realize that. Yeah. We're it's one of our busier days as well. Yes, I'm going to remember that, because I did not know that. So then that way I don't have to cook on those holidays. I live not far from the Corky's on Poplar, and every 4th of July and Memorial Day, they always have a wrapped parking lot where they're actually in the traffic. That's one of the reasons why I opened a barbecue restaurant, too. I was kind of jealous of their business. That's so funny. What do you think is what is the number one selling item? Fish taco. The fish taco. Okay. So let's talk about... Guess what number 2 is? Brisket taco. The brisket. Not brisket taco, brisket Philly sandwich? Wrap or sandwich. Yeah. Oh, the brisket Philly wrap. Yeah, that's our number 2 seller. You know, I've never had that. Really? I've never had that. I've just gone for the old, the staple. So am I. So what is steelhead trout? Because I think a lot of people don't. To me, when I order it, I almost feel like I'm not eating trout, that I'm eating salmon. But it's kind of a cross between the 2, right? It is. It's very similar in color, but texture is much more fragile. I didn't want to serve tilapia or catfish like a lot of people do. I wanted a line-caught fresh fish that's a higher quality and tastes better. I love the fish as well. I've been trout fishing all of my life, and it's something I'm proud to serve. I mean, I could easily switch and serve tilapia or something for half the cost, but it wouldn't be the same product. That's good to know. No, it would be. Tilapia wouldn't. Everybody uses tilapia. Everybody. Okay. I'm just sitting here, and somebody walked by to deliver some really fancy looking coffee drink with whipped cream on top. So what is the most refreshing thing off of your new, because you don't have this coffee bar set up at the Summer Avenue location. We don't. We serve the same coffee bean just for our for just a drip coffee. Yeah, but we can't execute the cappuccinos and
cold brews that we do.
I was going to say, is there something that you would recommend on a hot summer day that someone orders?
I love cold brew. If you want a caffeine boost, our cold brew is excellent. And it's probably twice the caffeine content of a cup of coffee, but all you need is one cold brew. And that's just iced coffee is all it is, and it's good to go. And some people like to add different milks too. We have almond milk, oat milk, and skim or whole, whatever you like to add to it, to add a little twist to it.
And
top it with fresh whipped cream.
I know, that's the whipped cream is what got me when she walked by. I was like, that looks like a dessert in a cup. That looks really good.
It is.
So I feel like everyone that lives in this neighborhood or is a student at University of Memphis needs to know that this is where you need to forget the chain coffee place and come here instead. I won't name it. Get myself in trouble. One of the things you also do at this location, at both locations, is breakfast, because I don't think people realize that 7 a.m. you guys open?
Every day, except on Sundays, 8.
So that's crazy. So you've got like everything from barbecue burritos to acai bowls to fried chicken biscuits. There's a little bit of everything on this menu.
Our barbecue burrito is really special. I think we're the only restaurant in Memphis that serves barbecue for breakfast. There might be somebody else out there, but I don't know of anybody.
I don't know of anyone else either.
I know.
Okay. I'm going to have to get up earlier one morning and try to take that. And then I'll probably need a nap afterwards, though, won't I?
For sure. Yeah, our barbecue burrito is special. Try it. And that's another big traditional thing in Texas, too. That's where that idea came from.
What is your favorite thing on the menu?
On the
just
breakfast
in general.
Or in general? I'm really proud of everything we serve. Every recipe on the menu is mine. I've designed it, and I have a spreadsheet where I keep track of the recipes that are on it. But any of our deli meat sandwiches, like our smoked turkey, our roast beef, they're all made in-house. Our pastrami and our corned beef, I'm really proud of what we serve. I don't think anybody, they might be, but I mean, to make your own corned beef and pastrami in-house and do it, it's not easy, and I think we do an excellent job at it.
And that's a big thing to know, that you're not buying that from like a wholesale provider, that you're actually smoking it, or curing it, or I guess corned beef, you cure it. Is that the correct?
They're both cured. They both start with the same product when it comes in, and they're cured in salt. But we do it two deviations. We take bell peppers and onions and traditional seasonings for corned beef, and we cook it in fat tire and Guinness in the oven and braise it. Our pastrami, we actually smoke on the smoker for 2 hours, and then we braise it in the oven for 2 more hours after that. So it's a little different. They're both 4-hour cooking time, but it's a little bit different. If you go to New York, there's 2 different ways to get pastrami, steamed or smoked. They're both offered.
So do you have smokers at both restaurants?
Yes.
Okay, so at whichever restaurant you go to, it's coming hot off the smoker.
Oh, yeah, daily.
That daily. Okay,
for sure.
That's good to know. You have something, and I kind of remember this, the bull poppers, because that's kind of a Texas thing, is it not?
It is.
It's a menu.
And that's on the menu for me, too. Cream cheese, cheddar cheese, and beef brisket. And we take a jalapeno and de-seed it, stuff it, and then bread it and fry it. It's a little special, nice little one. I may have a little variation on that coming up here soon.
And it's made with house-made barbecue ranch. That sounds so good. And I'm just telling everybody, $5 for $12. I think people should pick that up, whether they're eating at the restaurant or pick it up to go, because you can just reheat it, right?
For sure.
And serve it as an appetizer at your house.
Oh, yeah. It's a great appetizer.
For 4th of July. Give yourself a little easy way to do something. Is there anything else about the restaurant you would want anyone to know, other than that everything is delicious and handmade? And
not off the top of my head. I'm very proud of what we serve and the people I work with that are employed here. I work with some of the best chefs and front of house people in the city, as far as I'm concerned, and proud to work with them and the job they do.
That's all the time we have, and we're kind of coming to an end here. So if you're looking for hot dogs any time of the year, but especially around the 4th of July, I can highly recommend that you go to Elwood Shack, either location. We're here right now at the one on Park Avenue at 4040 Park Avenue, which is near Park and Getwell. The other location is kind of at Summer and right off of Perkins Extended in the Lowe's parking lot. That's the original location. And hot dogs here are so, so good. So is the brisket. We've talked about all of these things, and now I'm really hungry.
So am I.
And
Let's get a hot dog.
It's in between meal times. Thank you for joining us today, Tim. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for asking.
You can tune in on WYXR Radio every Thursday at 11 or listen where you get your podcast, iTunes or Spotify, or listen at dailymemphian.com.